Yo, welcome to the live stream here, guys. Thanks for joining us on a Friday. I'm RJ. We have a special guest for this live stream, as this will be a pretty strong discussion on something that might end up being the end game to the Chiliad Mystery. Joining us for the live stream is Danny, aka Music Vidiot. What's up, man?
What's going on, Trippy? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate jumping into a live stream with you. It is definitely new for us, and I think it's a great time to discuss different possibilities within the mystery.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, we're going to discuss a possible end game. In fact, this is one of your theories, Danny. I know a couple people agree with you heavily on this one, but this would be amazing considering the landmass that we have here. This version of San Andreas, you know, it's pretty much a massive natural wonder, because Grand Theft Auto, they've always had this land that seemed alive, but they took it to the next level in this game, adding different elements of nature, not only animals, but also weather, and maybe even things dealing with the tides. Perhaps a tsunami will come our way. You've been thinking this for a while now, Danny. I mean, what was one of the first things that made you think that a tsunami could possibly be part of the mystery?
Well, one of the first things was back then I had no other leads on anything. I just kind of went off the clues that hit me, and one of the radio stations talked about how somebody was going to move up to Mount Chiliad because there's going to be a tsunami that's going to hit, and it's going to be beachfront property up on the top of the mountain. And that was my first clue, my first initial thought of, man, maybe that's their way of hinting at a natural disaster to us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that would be the one thing that people did not see coming. You know what I mean? Like, we have UFOs. Even the storyline kind of has an alien takeover aspect of it. That's something we want added to the game on a grander scale. But we've seen it in some aspects. But we've not seen a massive natural disaster. I don't know about you, Danny, but one game I loved to play as a young buck was Sim City. And that game always had natural disasters coming through. So I feel like this is a bit of a Sim City as well. It'd be a perfect place to add it. Now, you did mention a tsunami clue somewhere in the barber shop. I wanted to show this off as we, of course, start off our discussion. I do want to give a special shout out to everybody in the live stream. Once again, we are doing this as, for the first time, a live stream discussion. So maybe you guys can throw out your opinions or your questions on the topic. In this case, a possible tsunami heading our way. So definitely let us know in the chat what you think about the theory of a possible tsunami. Danny, what's going on with this clue here in the barbershop? Where should I be looking?
If you stand at the doorway, and the doorway to the entrance of the barbershop, and you shoot, there's like a little radio or something on the back right corner, and it's covering up the picture. Yeah, you see it right there. There's like a health, like a little medical pack or something. If you shoot that stuff out of the way from the doorway, you can kind of see the picture better. But that picture that's right there on that shelf, behind that shelf, is a tsunami or something of big waves coming right towards Los Santos, or a city that looks like Los Santos. So as we find more clues, it starts to add up to a tangible thing. I talked about the commercial, and then you see different stuff like the Hawaiian snow symbol, which looks like a wave hitting a mountain. And there's so many different small tidbits of tsunami references, and then you got this one in the barbershop. There's just so many small stuff. It really had me thinking and going into the hunt direction of tsunamis and natural disasters. I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but I remember when this game first came out. I'm not sure if anybody else remembers this or not. I could be just going nuts, but I thought I remembered them advertising natural disasters or avalanches or something like that when the game was coming out. And I remember thinking, oh man, that would be awesome if they had that kind of stuff in there.
Hell yeah.
But then I think we all got carried away with what the game did offer us, and everything that we were able to do. I think we all lost touch of that information or that advertising, and
Oh, yeah.
Now, a couple years later that I'm investigating natural disasters, now it's coming back to me, and I'm remembering, man, weren't they supposed to do that? Avalanches or something like that? So I'm not sure if you guys remember that or not, but that's something that's also sticking in my mind right now.
And looking around this place too, there's certainly a lot of correlations here. I mean, look at Right here you have a Group 6 camera. For some reason, Group 6 watching the barbershop. We've talked many a times. We've had discussions before, Danny, on the observatory. And look, we have a picture of the Galileo Observatory with the sun conveniently in the background. Interesting. And even over here, you look at the pounders. You can see the lightning bolt looks a little bit similar, possibly to the crack in the egg. So there's definitely a lot going on here. Now, when it comes to the picture, are you saying it's behind the stereo?
Yeah. Like, say, if you go stand in the doorway
Mm-hmm.
and you look into the barbershop from the doorway, it's all in the far right corner. So,
Jeez, I'm trying to find it here. I thought you said I had to shoot the stereo out of the way. I was like, oh man, cops are going to be coming after me.
that like little medical pack was on that shelf. There's a shelf there with like a little, looks like a little medical pack or something. If you shoot them things off of the shelf, you'll get a better picture of the picture.
Oh, okay, I see the radio. Wait a minute.
See what I'm saying? It's an actual big, it's like a bluer type picture.
Aha!
And it's behind the shelf.
Damn.
And it kind of resembles.
It definitely looks like a wave coming through. I see why you say that. I was looking, of course, at the stereo on the opposite side. You were talking about the emergency radio, and there's definitely a tsunami or a huge wave hitting Los Santos. You got to feel that because we've seen this kind of stuff happen via mods, and not just in San Andreas. People were doing that in GTA 4, so they know that the community really wants to see a tsunami hit this place. Hopefully it still happens. I feel like that's not going to be that difficult for Rockstar to add it, especially with them saying they have all these GTA Online special events coming. Well, why not give us a special event where tsunami hits us as we're driving around or whatever? They do have one starting up today. It's the Finance and Felony expansion that hit today. So definitely enjoy that, guys. And keep in mind, that's a good time for Rockstar to add something to the game. They could possibly sneak a huge component of the Chiliad Mystery, maybe it's something new, just added in with the new expansion, and nobody would really see that, especially the people that like to look through the game code and stuff. You know, they'd have to decipher it every time they add something new to the game. Here we are at Trevor's.
Thinking about game codes, Trippy, you know how you get together and you do those awesome takeover events, and we try to take over like Fort Zancudo and stuff with the crews and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, there's been other games like Battlefield and stuff where they've had big, giant Easter eggs happening. I think there's like a Megalodon or something with like the online on Battlefield or something like that. But there's games like that where it happens in the online. And you have so many people that are focused on game codes and going inside the disk and trying to find everything they can within the coding. I mean, if Rockstar really wanted to do something epic and not get like found out, like they learned their lesson with the hot coffee mod, obviously. I mean, what if it was an online thing? What if it's like, you know, that's how they would even know you solved the mystery because you're connected directly to the server? Like, what if it's something we do online? You know, it is funny how they made it so all the weather conditions and stuff is all the same across everybody online. So it is all one now with like the sun and the moon and everything. Mm-hmm. So the more and more they do stuff with online updates, the more I wonder, is this going to happen online? Could this be something that we take to the co-op scene and do together?
Oh, I'd love that, man. I've been asking for that for so long. And that's why I said, even in the last video we put out here for the Chiliad Mystery series, you know, with them coming out and saying that they're going to add more to GTA Online, maybe they decide to take the Chiliad Mystery another route. Maybe they do add some different components online just to give that crowd, the GTA Online crowd, some mystery love as well. Now, we did want to show off a sun symbol here, Danny. I know we've shown off a few sun symbols, and we feel like that could be probably the secret to the Chiliad Mystery. Well, what's going on here? I've been looking at this dreamcatcher before. It always kind of stood out to me. Do you think there's something special about it?
I do. Ever since Delta showed us that sun symbol at the Marlowe Vineyard, okay, and then we've seen it at the hippie camp on the floor with the alien code and stuff. We start to see it more and more, and we start to realize the sun and the moon are relevant. I was playing as Trevor the other day, and I'm looking at the dreamcatcher, and it is a circle with a dot in the center of it. And it kind of blew me away because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a sun symbol. And there is other dream catchers in the game. Like sometimes when you load the game up, you'll see the loading screen art. You'll see Denise, Franklin's aunt. She'll be next to a dream catcher, or you'll see one in Franklin's house, like in a picture or whatever. But these other dream catchers don't have that circle in the middle, that dot in the middle. But Trevor's dream catcher does. So that technically is also in like a duality, I guess. It's a sun symbol. So that is very interesting that they put one there at Trevor's house on a dreamcatcher.
Definitely, guys. I mean, we've seen many different sun symbols put in the game for no reason. There's even one sun symbol on the beach that is shaped like an egg for no good reason. And as Music Video said, that's no coincidence that there's a black dot in the middle of that dreamcatcher. That is a sun symbol. We've shown it off before. I'll put a link in the description to one of the discussions that we've done with Delta, where, you know, we were there at the Galileo Observatory, and you can actually make that same exact symbol, but you have to be at that place at the exact time, and of course cast the shadow at one of the plates found there. There's certainly a lot to talk about when it comes to the Galileo Observatory. Thank you guys again for joining us for this live stream. We really just want to do a quick live stream discussion for you guys. We'll be having another one soon. We do have some very special things coming up very soon. In fact, there's going to be some massive announcements. Hopefully we can get this thing solved. We're definitely working together. But to finish off the live stream, Danny, of course, finishing up with the Tsunami talk, you know, what is your conclusion here? I know you're trying to figure out if this does possibly correlate to the mystery, but do you really think that Rockstar has a tsunami in mind for us here at the end?
Yes, I do. I really honestly do. Because at first I was limited in my thinking and what the possibilities were. At first I never really thought that they went as far as they did with the lunar cycles and the whole phases of the sun and the moon. And then once I started figuring out that this stuff is actually happening, and they did put that amount of effort in, and that there is a sun and moon phase, and there is all the different, different types of moons and stuff. And then I started, working with Delta more and realizing that there is a low tide, there is a high tide, there is mission orders that make sense and mission start times. All this stuff kind of leads to ultimately, stuff that would induce a tsunami. Like you said, we'll get more into it in other episodes, but definitely do believe there's a tsunami, guys. Definitely pay attention to what's going on in the game and the dialogues and everything else. And you'll see that everything does kind of point towards some big natural disasters. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait.
Absolutely. I agree with Danny here, guys. I mean, the game has definitely pointed us not only to earthquakes, but also volcanoes with Mount Chiliad. And if you come to some of the northernmost points here of the map, you can see there's what looks to be some plate tectonic activity, and we could see something happen. It might be a huge expansion, or it might be something already built into the game. And considering, what we're looking into here is the Chiliad Mystery, and Mount Chiliad is said to be a fucking volcano, there's a good chance that it could lead to a tsunami. I think Danny and even Delta is right about this one, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We'll have another one of these live stream discussions soon. We hope you have a great Friday, and we'll make sure to give you a big advance notice next time when we do these, because we want to make sure to take your questions. I see the chat is blown up right now. You guys have a ton of questions. Kiflam to all of you. Special shout out to Crimson Gamer. Thank you again for joining up. Any last words, Danny? Thanks again for joining yourself as well.
Oh, no problem. Trippy, it's always a fun time and a blast, and I'm always willing to get together and, continue our hunt for the truth. So thank you again for having me. All you guys out there, thank you again for joining. It's always been an honor and a pleasure having all you guys jump in. Take it easy, and as always, peace.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned to Danny, guys. I'm telling you, we have some huge information that we're going to drop, so I can't wait to share it with you guys, including some stuff coming this weekend, so stay tuned. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay tuned to the Trippy Show starting at 10 p.m. tonight. You can check out our Twitter for the links to that. Man, look how glorious this all looks, guys. The water, I think it's alive in the game in more ways than one. Have a great night, guys, and as always, stay trippy, my friends.